the new GM of Cleveland Browns. He will have a huge choice in his hand as he has the number one pick. We'll get further into that into our mock draft, which we're about to get into right now. So we'll go through the first round. We'll go through a mock draft. I'll do 2 picks and explain why I chose what I chose for those respective teams. I'll also do 2 picks, and then he'll give his explanation for the choices. We have our own team needs, and what each team needs. We'll explain those also as a reason why for the selections. And as soon as you're ready here, we can get right into it, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so officially with the first pick in the 2018 mock draft, I have the Cleveland Browns selecting quarterback Lamar Jackson out of Louisville. I know this pick will probably be received a little bit of controversy, a little bit of how can he go first. But based on the tape and based on his college career and based on his projections, I think that Lamar Jackson actually has the highest ceiling in the entire draft. He has the potential to be a once-in-a-lifetime player. When I look at Lamar Jackson, I look at probably a stronger second-generation version of RG3. And if I could look at RG3 is the last player that absolutely scared me as a Giant fan that I've ever seen in the NFL. He's the last one. There's been other players like Randy Moss, Adrian Peterson, that to me were just once-in-a-generation players that just scare you. Odell Beckham has a little bit of that in him also, where if he stays healthy, he's just one of those freakish talents where it's scary because you can't stop that type of talent. So when I see Lamar Jackson, I see something like a Michael Vick, but a much more polished passer. And that would be RG3. RG3 was Michael Vick, but a polished passer. The only difference with RG3 and why his career got derailed, he tore his ACL and then re-injured his ACL again.
He couldn't slide.
That's virtually Derrick Rose. We saw how great Derrick Rose was. But once you tear up your ACL and you're an athlete, it's hard to be athletic after that. That's your base, that's your core, so to speak. But when I see Lamar Jackson, I see somebody that's smart enough to get down and sharp enough to read a defense and throw the football where it needs to be thrown. So those problems that Michael Vick might have had and that RG3 might have had, I think Lamar Jackson has improved on those issues, but also has the immense talent that made both of those players rare generational players. So for the first pick, I think Cleveland, they can't miss this one like they did with Deshaun Watson. They're going to have to go ahead and pick up Lamar Jackson. That's the first pick I have here. Okay. For the second pick, I have for my actual team, the New York Football Giants. I have the New York Football Giants drafting running back out of Penn State, Saquon Barkley. I think he is one of the special running backs. He's like Ezekiel Elliott, Adrian Peterson, one of those rare backs that can do it all. 5'2", Damian Tomlinson comes to mind also. And I think this is what the Giants need. The Giants are still probably going to have Eli Manning for the next couple of years, almost like Drew Brees when they first drafted Reggie Bush, and they thought that Drew Brees was a little bit on the older side. But they still drafted Reggie Bush to extend Drew Brees' career, and it did. And they did it again with Kamara, where they drafted a running back to help extend Drew Brees' career. And I think even with the Patriots, they draft players that help extend Tom Brady's career. So they will draft slot receivers or running backs that can catch the ball well out of the backfield that resemble Kevin Falk. So with Eli's best years are with Tiki Barber, to be honest with you. And he has not had something really since Amon Bradshaw that resembles a running back that can also do a couple other things. So Paul Perkins could do those things, but Paul Perkins doesn't have the same ceiling as a Saquon Barkley at all. He's not as physical, as big, or as special a talent. So for Paul Perkins, he can actually share carries, and it could be something of a two-headed monster there, or with Orlando Darkwa staying on board with Barkley. But I think Barkley has to be the pick for the Giants. If not, it would be Quentin Nelson, guard out of Notre Dame. I think he's probably the best offensive lineman in the draft. So he's also a possibility here in number 2. But that's who I would go with, would be Saquon Barkley.
Okay. All right.
Number 3, we have Indianapolis
Colts. I think with that pick, I feel most likely if we do not trade this pick for a better deal, this most likely will be Nicholas Chubb out of North Carolina State. Reason being, with the Colts defense, what's been missing has been a pass rusher. Most plays that our corners have played the best as far as rookies. They're coming into their second years. We may be re-signing a cornerback. That's also an option, but I'm about to get into that later. But the reason why I feel like Nicholas Chubb, because with how Jabal Sheard has played last season, being third and pressuring the quarterback, when you see teams as far as that resemble, as far as like a 4-3 defense, the Minnesota Vikings, Everson Griffin, Hunter, a core defense interior, decent linebackers, good corners. Our defense is almost resembling to that same team where we already had dominated at stopping the run last season. As far as we gave up big yards, that's why our averages was down, so it was a lot of big plays. But on overall running attempts, we were the top 5 on stopping the run.
Okay.
Maybe I'm going actually. Maybe like top 15.
Solid.
A solid team.
Okay.
But given with Nicholas Chubb's attributes, I think he can really power and help generate that pass rush that we've been missing. So I think that'll be most likely our option. Or either we go corner. And if it's corner, I like Denzel Ward.
Okay.
I think he's a really solid corner. I think he just
out of Ohio State.
Out of Ohio State, yeah. And it's something about Ohio State. They just produce good corners.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that would be a nice little position that we can get. Quincy Wilson still playing out of the backfield, playing over there. Nate Houston playing our slot. Malik Hooker returning. Matthias Farley playing free safety. And as far as TJ Green, that core is already solid. If we bring in another premier corner that can solidify the outside, even with a subpar passing attack, we can get through. Because if everyone's covered, just look at Jacksonville Jaguars. Before they got to produce a team with people that was passing rushes, it's pretty much no one can pass Bouye, no one can pass Jalen Ramsey, and then the top of the field, you eventually gonna get sacked. No one to pass the ball to. So I feel like we're in both positions. So I think those are our 2 options where we can dominate in that way or that way easily.
So the choices, number 3 would be.
I think it's Nicholas Chubb though. But I said that's my other option. I think.
Or Bradley Chubb.
Bradley Chubb, sorry.
Out of North Carolina.
Sorry. Okay. Bradley Chubb. But I also think it might be, that's the only 2 options.
I got you.
Now next.
4th pick would also be the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Browns. Very interesting there. Because Lamar Jackson probably would not have been my pick. But I get it. We'll see with him. Cleveland Browns. I think going forward with Lamar Jackson, the best thing to do is we understand that as far as the people you've mentioned, Deshaun Watson, Michael Vick, RG3, all have the same thing in common. Injuries.
Yeah, okay.
So if we're going to go in that option, and we feel like, okay, this is the player we need, we're going to need to protect this player from getting injured. So I think we go with offensive linemen.
Like Dak Prescott. Great offensive line.
We go with a great offensive line, and we get Nelson.
Okay.
The guard to play with. Joe Thomas still playing there. Alden Nelson? I can't remember his name.
Quentin Nelson.
Quentin Nelson.
Out of Notre Dame. Yes.
He's a very solid. He can play left or right. Sometimes he can play right tackle. Okay. He's a very mobile offensive lineman. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. Yes. And he can learn outside with Joe Thomas how to be a premier player with a young core.
Correct.
And
Correct.
I think that'll be our option right there.
That is an excellent pick, and I think Cleveland is off to an amazing start. Going into number 5 pick in the draft for the Denver Broncos, I have the number 5th pick, which would be a little bit of a shocker, a little bit of a stunner. I'm going to have Denver going to pick up Baker Mayfield, quarterback out of Oklahoma. I think Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback-ready quarterback right now. That's the best way to put it. Like, I think he could come in right now, start, and lead you to a playoff team right now. As to where I think Rosen and Darnold, they might have to wait a season before they could contribute. And I think Lamar Jackson is even something of a project. Also, he can be dynamic, but he still has to learn how to pass on that level of, say, Baker Mayfield, where Baker Mayfield with Denver, with the weapons that Denver already has, he'll be able to step right in and with that defense get them right to the playoffs. I think that would be a supreme pick for them. And then the New York Football Jets set the 6th pick in the draft. I think the Jets get to luck up now and get who they really probably want, and Josh Rosen. And they go ahead and get to draft Josh Rosen out of UCLA to be their quarterback of the future. I think Josh Rosen has a very high ceiling. I think he has he reminds me a lot of Jared Goff, who got drafted with the Rams, that in his second year showed that he could play. I think Rosen is something like that. After his second year, he'll show a lot of production. I think for the Jets, this would be a player that they hadn't had in a long time. And for my man Bowles, who already has a young defense that's getting better, and with that superstar safety that they have out there, and then adding Rosen to go with that, I think they could really be putting together a nice team. I think that's the pick for them. Okay. And you got the 7th pick would be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Let me see about this. With the Buccaneers, I'm going to have to say... Let me see.
Offensive line.
Safeties.
Defensive safeties.
I think you go with Minkah Fitzpatrick for the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's the best option. I think he resembles mostly to Earl Thomas. He can play safety. He can hit. He can play the slot. Yeah. He can play the running back. He can play your tight end.
He's another one that I think has special, like the way I say Lamar Jackson has special.
His recovery speed is amazing.
I think him also. I saw him on tape. He has no flaws. Like, I like Barkley as a running back, but I think Jackson and Fitzpatrick and Chubb absolutely jump off the screen and look like they're surefire all pros.
I think with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they've lacked the defensive core on the outside.
And Roquan Smith,
because they have what's his name? Brent Grimes that they've been bringing back, 34 years old. He's been their best corner on defense, and they just drafted.
When he's healthy, he got skill. When he's healthy, that boy got skill. And his wife is outspoken.
I'm just saying that they have but my only problem is I always have 2 picks for 2. I'm sorry, 2 picks for each one. It's always, I feel like it's
another option.
Another option.
I got you.
My problem is they've went in that route before.
What?
With Vincent Hargroves. So it's do they want to continue in that route and say try another possible safety that can help there? Okay. But I do think they need the help because TJ Ward is not going to help you back there. No, he's not even. Is he there still?
He might not be. He might be a free agent.
He might be a free agent. So you're going to need someone to help that position.
I think that's a good pick.
I think
that's a super pick, really.
I think the other option, if they decide, is Derrick Guys. I think you go running back. Doug Martin no longer being there.
Okay.
Another option with your other run back and core, and allow, because I think you need to help your quarterback.
Okay.
Like you said, quarterback help, and I think that'd be maybe the best route. Help your quarterback to stop turning over the ball. Maybe you can win. They don't lose by much. That cornerback core may be kind of subpar. You did re-sign Brent Grimes.
You could also look at, I guess, Josh Jackson and also the corner out of Iowa as being possibly
It could be possible, but I think it's either going to be a corner or running back in that position. I think that's where they're going in Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I would just say look out for like an offensive tackle, like maybe Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Because they might want to protect Winston even more.
Very true.
And number 8 pick, we got the Chicago Bears.
Chicago Bears. I thought I had. Chicago Bears. This one, I don't care. I know this team has tried, missed.
Yeah, I think it's one
tried and missed.
For sure that they got.
I think this is the one player, and everyone may disagree, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right. Matt Nagy is the quarterback. I mean, is the head coach, former offensive coordinator of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Correct.
Their first round draft pick was a player of Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
Young quarterback. A playmaking wide receiver. That defense has been premier. Losing now, I think one of their corners, they have enough corners in there to back up in his place.
Okay.
That defense has been one of the best. Running games, the best.
Correct. They have the
Josh Howard should have been a first round, original ballot into the Pro Bowl, not an alternate. But he's like Damian Lillard to me, so that's how he gets treated.
Damian Lillard's a super player, man.
And then they had Tyree Cohen, another also playback, who's been shown he can pass and catch the ball, almost like a Tyreek Hill. Now you need someone to stretch the field.
Okay.
I'm going with DJ CHARK Jr. out of LSU. DJ CHARK Jr. out of LSU.
He's a wide receiver.
He's a wide receiver. I believe if they pick this guy up, he's going to be their next player to help them.
Wow, that's a little bit high.
I'm giving that high to him. I believe in it.
I mean, that's very interesting. We'll keep our eyes on this kid.
I believe in it.
I was thinking more along the lines of Calvin Ridley for the Bears in this particular position.
I like
but I see what you say.
That's what I know. Like, this is Tyreek Hill, Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk. I know they can go in that option, but I think they have a guy like Cohen. If they believe in that he can catch
at the 8th pick. Yeah, you got to be a
Pro
Bowl player.
He can catch. First, Tyreek Cohen can catch, throw, and run out the backfield. He's been shown that he's been very versatile at that offense.
Right.
Josh Howard can run the ball through any gap into that offense. If you go a guy who can stretch the field, if you get one player that can stretch the field,
Ridley's not that guy.
I'm not saying he's not, but DJ CHARK is way faster.
Okay.
And he's taller, 6'4".
Okay. All right.
I'm telling you,
it's an interesting pick for the Chicago Bears. So we move right along into the number 9th pick in the draft.
Kevin White. That was a super pick. What happened to him?
I really don't even know. I've never even got a chance to watch this guy really play football. But that didn't work out for him at all.
I'm just saying.
Kevin White, we hope the best. So the number 9th pick, the San Francisco 49ers. I think with the 49ers here, after signing Jimmy G to the big deal, I think they're definitely going to go with a wide receiver here. Now, personally, I think that Sutton is the best wide receiver for me in this draft. But I do think that Calvin Ridley is going to be the selection here. I think Calvin Ridley is, if he's not going to be picked by Chicago at the 8th pick, he's definitely going to be picked by San Francisco by the 9th pick. So the 9th pick, I have Calvin Ridley out of Alabama, wide receiver, being picked by the San Francisco 49ers to be the main target for the young Jimmy G and the whole San Francisco organization that's all grown up together. Head coach, 5-year deal. GM, John Lynch, young GM, 5-year deal. young QB, 7 starts in the NFL, 5-year deal. Now you add in the wide receiver to kind of complement that the Jerry Rice for your Montana, and this would be him.
And they have a nice receiving core over there. So
yeah, and so Calvin Ridley. Then with the 10th overall selection for the Oakland Raiders, the John Gruden reboot. I'm a little torn here. Torn between 2 particular plays. I'm not sure. Well, actually 3. 3 plays here that we're looking at.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Darius Geis is one particular option with Marshawn Lynch not possibly coming back, and we know Gruden likes to run the football. That being the first kind of thing I look at. The second part would be Roquan Smith being probably the best middle linebacker in the draft, and him being available and they possibly needing that. That's a strong possibility there. Also, Tremaine Edwards, Virginia Tech, strong hitter, also outside linebacker, strong possibility here. Was one of the players, and then Josh Jackson, the corner out of Iowa, where they have a questionable corner situation in Oakland, and him having a good pass with corners with having Rondé Barber in Tampa Bay for John Gruden. But I definitely feel that this pick will be Roquan Smith out of Georgia, middle linebacker, 6'1", 225 pounds. I think he has a chance to be definitely an all-pro player. He has a high ceiling. To me, he's a top 5 player prospect in this whole draft for me. So to me, I have something like Roquan Smith, Quentin, Nelson, Baker, Barkley, Lamar Jackson as being the top 5 players that have the possibility of having the highest upside. And Minkah fits.
Gotcha.
Yes, so that would be the 5 for me.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Because of when John Gruden came in, he brought in defensive coordinator Paul Gunther and linebackers coach David Inkot, both from Cincinnati Bengals, and you know how that defensive core has been with Vontaze Burfict and the rest of them. So I think Roquan Smith will probably be the obvious option that they pick in that.
Right. Moving along to the 11th pick, the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, Miami Dolphins. I think it's 2 options you can go here, and it's either going to be with the way how this draft is looking. It's either going to be wide receiver, and Michael. I guess Xavier Howard is pretty.
I can see him taking a
defensive end maybe, but I think it's maybe offensive line. Glinchey. I'm thinking Glinchey, or I'm thinking Cameron Sutton. With the whole thing with Jarvis Landry, they think about trading him.
Correct.
So I think I'm gonna go with Cameron Sutton with Miami Dolphins. Coming off the.
So 11th pick, Miami Dolphins will be selecting
big solid receiver
Sutton out of SMU.
Yeah.
Junior big time receiver, big tall receiver, great hands.
He's a big hands guy.
I agree. That's a very good pick. That would be a very nice addition for them.
And then what's the next one?
Next one would be the Cincinnati Bengals. Speaking of the Bengals.
Cincinnati Bengals, I think this one is very easy. You go with Mike Glenn, offensive tackle out of Notre Dame.
Offensive tackle. Yeah, Mike McGlinchey.
Yeah.
Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame, offensive tackle, yes. So for the 12th pick, you got the Cincinnati Bengals taking offensive tackle Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame.
Yes.
Okay, that's a solid pick. I think they do need to continue to fortify that offensive line. That has been a struggle because they've lost a lot of their guys through the years to big contracts with other teams. That's a pretty good pick.
I almost believe that.
So moving along, going to number 13, we have the Washington Redskins at the 13th pick. Now, you still got Sam Darnold on the board. he would be some consideration here. He would be able to sit behind Alex Smith while the Redskins are able to continue to compete. So for me, this is a very strong selection for that. If that's the way they want to go, they might feel like Sam Darnold has that kind of upside because now Green Bay would be behind them. Arizona's behind them that also have quarterback needs. So there's a chance I say Arizona might trade up at this point to try to get a Sam Darnold. So, but I do think for Washington, their biggest needs is more or less like wide receiver, middle linebacker, outside linebacker. So I actually see them going with Rashawn Evans, inside outside linebacker from Alabama, 6'3", 234 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think this would be the pick for Washington. They get themselves a real playmaker on the linebacker level, something that they've actually been weak at for a couple of years now.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's been shooting up the board. Can look at Tremaine Edwards as another possibility, but I think the Redskins would prefer probably a faster player to be more on the outside, where Tremaine's more of a hitter. They already have a pretty good defensive line, so I think Evans would be the pick here. At the number 14 pick for the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers. Let's see what their needs look like. See offensive tackle, tight end, cornerback. So for me, let's see, I think the Packers at this point will probably look for a tight end. And I think the best possible tight end for them, the best fit to go along with Aaron Rodgers, that would probably, I could say, almost help to extend Aaron Rodgers' career just by being an excellent target as a tight end.
The one you can
is
say
Dallas Goldberg. I understand that Mark Andrews out of Oklahoma was a pretty good tight end prospect, but the tape that I saw on Goldberg is he's a phenomenal mismatch. And adding him to Aaron Rodgers will become a very good weapon. I mean, it would be a very good addition. And I think Green Bay has been looking for a good catching tight end for years to kind of help out even the running game over there. With just a good pass catching tight end that could force a safety to have to take a step back. And they could spread out the floor for the running back wide receiver they have over there. I can't bring his name right now. That runs the ball a lot for that Green Bay team, but he's also a wide receiver.
Oh, Ty Montgomery?
Yes.
Or Randy Cobb? Randall Cobb?
Both. Ty Cobb. Or Randy Cobb.
Yeah.
So I feel that it can spread the field out for both of them. But yes, for the 14th pick for the Green Bay Packers, I have them taking Dallas Goldberg out of South Dakota State, tight end. And for the 15th pick, you have the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals?
Yeah. I would understand they would probably take Sam Darnold. Probably. If he was still on the board.
I think their best option would be Josh Rosen. I actually like Josh Rosen better out of UCLA.
He would be the Jets would already took him.
Oh, you said already. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Jets I took him with the Jets.
Oh,
yeah, and Baker I took with the Denver.
Yeah, he took Baker. I forgot. Damn, we got knock these down. Oh, all right. So that was either Penn or Sam Darnold. I say you go with Sam Darnold. I think he's. I don't even know if you go with Sam Darnold.
I think you have to, like, for them.
I think because Josh Allen. I want to say Josh Allen, but I don't see every down. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think Sam Darnold came from a better system where he's been more groomed and he's been able to learn under that young system. But it's not Bruce Arians no more. Ooh, that's interesting.
I mean, either that or receiver to try to replace.
Yeah, that's your best. Like, they need a quarterback, but it's just.
I mean, some people have Sam as the number one pick in the entire draft.
That's pretty hilarious. I barely have him in the draft, but whew. You that high in the draft. I mean, it's still technically lottery pick. You can't just pick anything just because you need it. So you got to go to your next need. It's not there no more. So let me see what they're gonna need. Linebacker. Wait, did you take Roquan too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roquan with Oakland.
So there's Tremont Edwards.
Yeah, Tremont Edwards.
Okay. This is running backs. What do they have over there? They can go running back. Get off that. I don't think that's gonna sit. I think at this sense, let me see. Where's the offensive line?
Tackle guard. Okay. Center will be last.
I think you go with Orlando Brown out of the Oklahoma. I think you just keep build up on the offensive line.
Okay.
You still do have a Drew Stanton still back there. Fitzgerald is coming back for another year. He's also been productive. You have the John Browns who go stretch the field. He's played decent quarterback play for you, and I think you just get a better offensive line throughout free agency probably, or second round probably go for a running back, and then just build it up from there. I don't think you have to stretch for a quarterback at that point.
Okay. That's it. So next up you got the Baltimore Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. I honestly think you go with Josh Allen. Josh Allen, the quarterback. Did you pick Josh Allen? Quarterback out of Wyoming.
Yes. Josh Allen out of Wyoming. Okay.
Yeah. All right. 6'5", 233 pounds. He was big arm. Has a resemblance to Josh McCown to me, but with that defense with Jim Harbaugh, he kind of resembles to me as a who's the guy they got with it right now? Flacco. Okay. But since Flacco had the back injury, Flacco has not been able to get that ball down the field. He's been lacking the deep ball. This kid can do it. And with those fast wide receivers they have out there, this will be the best bet. Running back has been secure with Collins, who's been running efficiently last year. That defense is still going to be top of the defense. I think Josh Allen will be the best person to be in there, where he can stay there for at least a year, learn a year or two, however much that I think. What's his name again? Flacco has maybe 3 years, probably good left in him. And this kid could be the next one to take him off underneath. And he'll probably learn how to fine tune. He's from Wyoming, a small school, and he shows a big arm. Imagine when he gets some training. I think that'd be your best bet.
Okay, that's a good pick. Okay, so 17 for the Los Angeles Chargers. I think they would definitely jump at the opportunity to get Sam Darnold. So I would have them picking Sam Darnold out of USC. He only a sophomore, the youngest quarterback out of this crop. That's why a lot of people project him as having the highest potential. Mm-hmm. I think he has a chance to sit behind Phillip Rivers for a year at least, or maybe 2, and then be able to take over the Chargers and then be able to be the franchise over there as they are transitioning into Los Angeles now, rather than the old San Diego Chargers. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be the pick. And being from Southern California with USC, I think it all works out. That would be a great pick for them. At number 18 for the Seattle Seahawks, I definitely have them taking cornerback Josh Jackson out of Iowa.
JJ.
I think they do need a corner. They might also be looking strongly at safety. I think his name is Derwin James.
Mm-hmm. Hard-hitting safety.
I think he has a strong chance of being a possibility.
He'd be a Cam Chancellor.
But I think Josh Jackson is slightly above him in my eyes. So I think, and there's with Cam Chancellor saying that he's coming back to play football again, with Sherman we're not so sure about with his physical health, I think it makes more sense to go after Josh Jackson than going after the safety. So I think for Seattle, they were in that position. Go ahead and take Josh Jackson out of Iowa, cornerback, with the 18th pick in the 2018 draft. And with 19, we have the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. That team. I am torn between two players. You don't have one of them up here though, but he's the top guy out of Memphis, named Anthony Miller, wide receiver. He's almost similar to I kind of compare him to like a Stephon Diggs in a type of sense, or like a Golden Tate. He's a possession receiver. Like he'll get you the yards after catch. But Dallas Cowboys. But with Dallas Cowboys,
So
I think
Anthony Miller.
no. But with Dallas Cowboys, I think the best bet is going to be James Washington out of Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I think he resembles Doug Baldwin to me. I think he's a possession receiver. I think he just runs great routes.
Okay.
And I think they need someone out there to help them run better routes. Their defense is young. They already fixed their defense last year. It's getting with Taco. They already took back Lawrence. They're solid over there. Offensively, they need a wide receiver. Not sure with Dez. I think that'll be the best bet.
Okay, the 20th pick, you have the Detroit Lions.
Detroit Lions, I think, hands down, you go with Darius Geis out of LSU. I think the kid came into camp bigger.
Okay.
He went, I think, from 218 to 224, 240, something like that.
Okay.
Came in stronger, and what I like about Darius Geis is he has a lot of speed. He can block. That's a very positive. That he's a very good blocker, especially for LSU. He allowed deep balls to DJ CHARK. That boy can run, so he allowed those deep throws. He has very much quickness. My only problem is his hesitation when hitting the gap. He kind of seems a little stuttered into it, but I think that he'll be fine-tuned. He's a solid back, and he got stronger. He can break tackles, and he's very quick. So, and I think that's going to make a lot, and that's going to be perfect for Matthew Stafford in that Detroit Lions.
Solid picks. I think that's exactly the play they might need. I think they might also look at a corner at that point also. That's a possibility. Tight end.
I like the corner. I like who they got right there. They are getting older, so that does make sense. Slay and the safety.
Okay.
So.
All right. So 21st pick, we have the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills. Let's see.
That play. Buffalo is like cold Cleveland.
Buffalo Bills. Okay. Buffalo Bills. Let's see. Now,
whose death sentence are you giving
Buffalo, I think, has a very good team. I think they really need to just hone in on on building around what they already have. I think they have a strong defense. I think they have a strong offense. I think they just need to add pieces, and I think the pieces they need to add is maybe another offensive line piece, wide receiver, another playmaker that can help complement, which really seems to be a bad cupboard over there for Tyrod Taylor, who's a very good quarterback, but I don't think he's been given a good healthy amount of weapons in his career. So for me, in this choice, I think the wide receiver it has to be Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M, junior wide receiver. I think he's a playmaker. He can play the slot. He can play outside. He's more or less just get the ball in his hands. He's gonna be able to get you a few yards after the play. Very in and out, very fast, very quick. I think this would be a very good pick for the Bills here.
You have to share that ball with LaShawn McCoy.
I think you want to feature LaShawn McCoy still.
Yeah,
but you want
LaShawn can pass the ball too.
You want to be able to be able to get the ball to receivers. You want receivers to be able to spread the field for the running back, almost like the Dallas did.
LaShawn don't have to see A in the box no more.
Exactly. You have a guy like Kurt that can spread it a little bit for him.
Yeah.
And that would be pick number 21 to the Buffalo Bills, Christian Kirk. All right, so number 22, we also have the Buffalo Bills, courtesy of a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs. So number 22, we also have the Bills. So I think with this pick, I think the Bills will look to add somebody up front, a defensive lineman, because they're getting a little old in the defensive line. I think it'll be somebody like a Vita V. Yeah, Vita V, sorry.
That
defensive tackle out of Washington.
Talented.
He's a very, very talented player. Can be even go top 10. I think the Bills would be lucky to get him at this spot. I think this would be a very good back-to-back picks for the Bills.
I seen him run on special teams. Very talented. And he made the tackle.
So that's the two picks I would have for the Bills here. That would be Kurt at 21.
That's exactly.
And Vita V at 22. At 23 now we would have the Los Angeles Rams.
LA Rams. Okay. Trade for a corner. Need a pass rusher. You got defensive end? Yes. Wide receiver. Nah. Ooh. Okay. I think I'm torn between two players, but I think it's your best bet is to go with Harold Landry out of Boston College.
That'd be a great pick for them.
Reason why I kind of Marcus Davenport is they have him second rated.
Yes.
But I don't know. I watched them play. Huh?
That's me.
Oh, you have him second rated.
Yeah, it's all me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You have him second rated, but when I watch them play, I just see like it's a little bit too raw.
Yeah.
To be that premier person for this team. So with
talking about Sweet 23. 23, that's Los Angeles Rams.
With the Los Angeles Rams. You have
right.
And the reason why I'm like
Donald up the middle.
Yeah. So Donald is a bit more of a pass rusher. Harold Landry is a pass rusher who can also stop the run.
Yeah.
Marcus Davenport can stop the run, but he's just too raw that I'm not sure if is he gonna fall into place as far as their last pick. Can't remember his name right now, but Ern Westbrook, defensive end that they picked up. He was a big solid guy, just the same size as Marcus Davenport, but just doesn't produce as much. And I think Harold Landry might be a better option in this book.
Okay, that's a very good pick. Number 24, you got the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. Damn. I think going forward, you're either gonna have to go. If they decide to go defense, I think their mainly option would be Arden Key. If they decide to go defense, I think it'd be Arden Key or Marcus Davenport. I think it'd be one of those two. I'm just pondering. I'm sorry. I'm pondering.
Okay.
But I think it's most likely gonna be Mike Galiski or Mark Adams, tight ends. Mike Galiski out of Penn State.
So this would be a final answer.
Final answer.
Okay, Mike Galiski, tight end out of Penn State.
I think
to the Carolina Panthers.
I think that'd be the
okay. That's an interesting pick. Gillespie. I think we watch a lot of tape on this guy, so I'm not particularly.
I think he's one of the with Greg Olsen getting older, being a nice option to replace.
I think that's a good pickup. That's definitely works for Carolina, and I think tight ends are quarterback's best friend, not running backs.
He's a good catcher. Okay. I think he fit though, bro.
Okay, number 25, we have the Tennessee Titans. Coming off of a playoff appearance. The quarterback growing up. Good running game. Young defense. I think for the Titans here, they snatch up an available option here. So I'm a little torn. I think they can go with a corner here. There's a possibility that they'll go after. Let's see what we have here for cornerbacks. There's a chance that they might go after like Isaiah Oliver out of Colorado head, or Zaire Alexander, with Connor Williams out of Texas and Colton Miller out of UCLA. Offensive tackles available. That's options. But I think the Titans will focus more on maybe a defensive end. So Marcus Davenport, Maurice Hurst out of Michigan. Mm-hmm. These are a lot of options for the Titans. But I do see them going after offensive guard. I think protecting Mariota is the biggest thing. So I think they'll go with Isaiah Wynn, offensive guard, offensive tackle, center out of Georgia. I think that's a pick for them. I think that's where they're going to go here to continue to fortify the offense for Mariota and continue to build in the second and third rounds for the defense. So that's what I have there for the 25th overall pick in the 2018 NFL mock draft. Isaiah Wynn out of Georgia. Offensive guard.
Isaiah Wynn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
At number 26, we have the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, I feel, here stumble into exactly what they need and want. They want to add another strong defensive tackle up the middle, and they have the perfect opportunity in drafting Michigan Maurice Hurst, a potential top 15 pick that probably looks like it fell into the Atlanta Falcons' lap. So I have Maurice Hurst as a pick for the Atlanta Falcons as a 26th pick, defensive tackle.
Then I'll work with them not re-signing Poe. So that's the way to go.
So
what is the offensive tackle?
Offensive tackle. Next up will be for 27. You're up with the New Orleans Saints.
I think with New Orleans Saints, I think they'll either be going with quarterback, but not really that much. But I think if re-signing Drew Brees, you're probably going to go with offensive line. So, these three are gone?
Yeah, Browns off the board.
I think your best bet will be Willie Hernandez out of UTEP.
Okay.
He's a big chubby guard. I think he's really solid and he's very quick with his feet. They said that he's very solid with his feet. I like his feet. But
I think that'd be the option. I would also look for in that position, they'd be looking at Andrews, the tight end out of Oklahoma, or Hurst, the tight end out of South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Would be possibilities for the Saints in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And number 28, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I think with the Pittsburgh Steelers, your best bet was to go with linebacker.
Inside linebacker, outside linebacker.
Okay.
Okay, I can see. Oh, I don't know exactly who you're looking at.
I think it's either going to be between. You got Rashad Evans?
Yeah.
Okay.
Evans was.
I say so. I think it's hands down Malik Jefferson. out of
Texas. That's a solid pick.
I think that's exactly who they will be picking. I think with Shazier announcing that he will not be playing for the remainder of the for the 2018 season, at linebacker is a primary need. They went for cornerbacks with Artie Burns and etc. Joe Hayden. Defense, pass rusher, they're getting there with their young players of Bosa, etc.
Correct. Correct.
Linebacker.
Very good pick. Very good pick. All right, so for number 29, who do we have up next here? Number 29, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, I'm a supreme fan of what they got going over there. Doug Marrone, Long Island, New York City, the building. Tom Coughlin, one of the greatest New York Giants minds to ever touch it. Shout out to Coughlin, he's doing a supreme job over there. Ramsey, Bouye, Fournette, I loved the pick last year. So I'm very excited about Jacksonville again this year. Let's look over what I think Jacksonville can add. Let's see what I got here. Jacksonville, we got wide receiver, offensive guard, and a tight end. So I think hands down, they would jump on the tight end bandwagon. So I think the pick would be Mark Andrews, tight end out of Oklahoma for the Jacksonville Jaguars here at the 29th pick.
Mark Andrews.
Okay. So moving into number 30, we got the Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings, I think, are an extremely talented team. I think the Vikings will sneak up on the entire world here and probably draft a quarterback. I think a lot of people are not expecting this. I think a lot of people are assuming that they're just going to re-sign Case Keenum or bring back their guy, Teddy Bridgewater. But we don't know.
There's too many injuries in that.
And so I think somebody like Madison Rudolph, who did very well prior to the combine, showing his skills off. He's very much so at play. But I'm also going to look to see what else they could add. Offensive line, defensive tackle, cornerback. So at the offensive line, we look at the particular, like who's still available right now on the board. We definitely have Connor Williams out of Texas. Colton Miller out of UCLA still available. We got got some very good players here. Billy Price, center out of Ohio State, still available. So for Minnesota, they have some options here. Defensive tackles, they got quite a few talented tackles still available. Like Florida's product or Alabama and Deron Payne is still available. This is a very good decision. Wow, this is pretty good. So what I'll go with for Minnesota, I'm gonna go ahead and go with Colton Miller, offensive tackle out of UCLA.
I picked him already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was wide receiver. What number that was?
I think did I pick him earlier? Colton Miller?
You got McGlinchey.
I thought I picked Colton Miller.
Brown.
No? Okay, good. Yeah. I picked him earlier.
So take the
Don't bother with it.
Oh, you might have mentioned him.
I might have mentioned him, but that's what it was.
You
know me and my doubles.
I think it was Mike McGlinchey, though.
I know I went with Mike McGlinchey, so I'm not sure if I picked him too.
But I know you picked Orlando Brown at 1.2.
Yeah.
But that would be from Minnesota. Colton Miller, offensive tackle out of UCLA. Then moving in 31, we have the vaunted, dynastic New England Patriots.
And it'd be my guess to be the one to pick for the New England Patriots. So they'll pick Luke Falk. No, I'm kidding. I don't see them going into the wide receiver direction. I think their best bet will either be between.
Oh shit! I think I got. Damn, they can go Davenport there.
They can go. Davenport's picked already.
Nah,
he's not.
Nah, you went with Landry, and then he never got picked up.
Oh, and then they go with. Oh, you never went. Oh wow. Okay. They can either go with a person of Davenport. No, that wasn't even an option. I was gonna say Sam Hubbard, but wow.
Even Tremaine, that was still on the board. Nobody picked him up either. Got quite a few options out here,
especially for the Patriots defense.
Yeah,
that's a
So you got Tremaine Evans.
And then they still got Isaiah Oliver.
Yeah, corner.
And Javier Alexander, who's a really...
You still got the Florida tackle, defensive tackle. He's still available.
I don't think they'll go defense. I think their defensive tackle position is really solid.
But I mean, the pass rusher, Davenport is definitely available.
Best available person up. I'm still just too rough in the first round. Sorry. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. They also still have running back position.
Or maybe even go Hurst, the tight end, because Gronk talking that retirement. But the media making it seem like Gronk would have retired.
I see them also going running back position with Ronald Jones. Do like him at USC. But I see the New England Patriots picking up Sam Hubbard. I'm going with Sam Hubbard.
That's out of
defensive end out of Ohio State.
Solid pick. And with the last one of the first round, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, if you're looking at the Eagles now, just looking at how they look like, I'm not sure who's gonna be there before this. It could be Tremaine Edwards. They can go with cornerback. They can go with defensive tackle. What's the defensive tackle?
You got 2 and 3 still there. Which is Deron Payne, I think his name is. He's a pretty good name.
If your inside linebackers,
still got nose tackle out here too.
If your inside linebacker it's hurt, I think Deron Payne. I mean, if he's not there, it's Deron Payne. But if not, I say you go with Tremaine Edwards. Because with Kendricks being out, but I think it's most likely. Don't even put that down. Nope, you know what? Deron Payne. I'm going with Deron Payne.
Right.
I'm going with him. I think they're gonna go. I think those interior linemen are not gonna be there this season. They're gonna have to replace them.
Payne, defensive tackle.
Yeah, out of Alabama.
Alright, so I got them all at that. Except what you had with Miami for 11.
So what?
I didn't catch you on 11. Miami.
Miami 11?
Yeah.
DJ CHARK.
No. You had him at 8.
No, Chicago. Chicago, sorry.
So like
Miami.
There was another receiver that you had said that I ain't had down there.
Was it Sutton?
No, it wasn't Sutton. It was another receiver because he was like, he's gonna replace Landry.
I think it was Sutton.
It was a name that I didn't have there. You said like it's another name that you don't have, but I think it's another wide receiver.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna go back on that because it's like I don't.
No. I said it might be either one of those two, but I went with Courtland Sutton because I said
cool. That was like
was it Courtland Sutton?
So if you want Sutton, I'll make it easier.
No. Anthony Miller. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what it was. Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Shit, Sutton didn't get picked.
Huh? So it was Sutton that I didn't put in because I said it was either between Sutton or Anthony Miller.
Alright, bet. So we go real quick through. Alright, so for 2018 NFL mock draft, so we got with the first pick Cleveland Browns. We got Lamar Jackson, quarterback out of Louisville. 2, New York Giants. You got running back Saquon Barkley out of Penn State. 3, Indianapolis. You have defensive end Ridley Chubb. 4, Cleveland Browns. You have Quentin Nelson, offensive lineman.
That's what it was.
Number 5, Denver Broncos. Got quarterback Baker Mayfield. 6, New York Football Jets. You have quarterback Josh Rosen. 7, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have defensive back Fitzpatrick. What's his first name? Minkah Fitzpatrick. Number 8, Chicago Bears. We have wide receiver DJ Shark. I'm not particularly sure he's out of
LSU.
Cool. Number 9, San Francisco 49ers. We have wide receiver Calvin Ridley out of, I believe, Alabama.
Yeah.
Number 10, we have Roquan Smith, linebacker out of Georgia, going to the Oakland Raiders. Number 11, for the Miami Dolphins, we have wide receiver Courtland Sutton out of SMU, going to the Dolphins. Number 12, we have offensive guard. It's that Mike McGlinchey out of Notre Dame, going to the Cincinnati Bengals with the 12th selection. With 13th selection, we have for the Washington Redskins, Rashad Evans, linebacker out of Alabama. Number 14 for the Green Bay Packers, we have Dallas Goldberg, tight end, out of, let's see where he comes out of.
Small school.
It was like South Dakota, right? Yeah, South Dakota State. Number 15 for the Arizona Cardinals, we have Orlando Brown, offensive lineman. Number 16 for the Baltimore Ravens, we have quarterback Josh Allen. Number 17, Los Angeles Chargers, we have quarterback Sam Darnold. Number 18 for the Seattle Seahawks, we have cornerback Joshua Jackson. Number 19 for the Dallas Cowboys, we have wide receiver, I believe it's James Washington, wide receiver. 20 for the Detroit Lions, we have Darius Juice, running back.
LSU.
21 for the Buffalo Bills, we have wide receiver Christian Kirk. Number 22 also for the Buffalo Bills, we have defensive tackle Vita Vea. Okay, might have still got that wrong. 23, Los Angeles Rams, we have Harold Landry, defensive end. Number 24 for the Carolina Panthers, we have tight end Mike Gesicki. Gesicki out of Penn State. For number 25 for the Tennessee Titans, we have Isaiah Wynn, offensive guard. For 26, the Atlanta Falcons, we have defensive tackle Maurice Hurst. Okay. For the 27th pick for the New Orleans Pelicans. New Orleans Saints, we have Will Hernandez.
Yeah.
Will Hernandez out of UTEP, offensive guard. Number 28 for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Malik Jefferson out of Texas. For 29, the Jacksonville Jaguars, tight end Mark Andrew out of Oklahoma. Number 30, Colton Miller, offensive tackle. He'll be going for the Minnesota Vikings. 31, the New England Patriots, Hubbard, defensive end.
Out of Ohio State.
And for the last pick in the first round, 32nd selection, to end it off, the Philadelphia Eagles select Deron Payne, defensive tackle.
Out of Alabama.
So we'll see how our mock draft matches up against the real draft in April. Next week we'll do our top 5 sleepers for the second and third round. And again, you know what I'm saying, this is pretty fun. It's good to kind of get a look at where players might go, how it might look on the board as the time goes by. I think that the Browns have a great chance of having a dominant draft to continue what they did last year. Lamar Jackson, where he goes in the draft, will be very interesting for me. Where Baker Mayfield goes will be very interesting. Chubb, where he goes. Fitzpatrick, where he goes, will be very interesting for me. And I want the Giants to get Barkley. I think that has to be a go. That has to be. You add him with my man Odell, Shepard.
I think
they got a foolish offense with my man, the tight end in the middle there.
I think Cleveland should pick Barkley. And then when they get their 4th pick the same offensive lineman and build behind Kaiser. You have Josh Gordon. You have Corey Coleman. You have Njoku. You have Doug Johnson. And then you have him as a change of payback. I think that would be the best option to go with. But they're going to go quarterback, so whatever.
I mean, I would say you could definitely trade that pick to the Jets so the Jets could get Lamar Jackson. And then with that 6th pick, then you take another pick from the Jets probably next year. You then add another piece there.
So much options they could really build. But Cleveland just love not winning. So
as a Giants fan, I think the best thing the Giants can honestly do is to trade back to like 8 or 9
and get Roquan Smith. Like I think that would be the perfect move for them. Move back and add another pick and get Roquan Smith. I like Barkley, but
this
like
mad running backs I can choose from, so I think that'd be your best bet.
You know what I'm saying? We go back get Smith, and in the second round you could probably still get like a Michael, Sony Michael, and still get yourself. If you really think you need a running back, because you don't really need a running back, you only doing it because Barkley's the guy that's picked at that point. I don't because you with Perkins and Darkwood, you don't really need a running back. Okay, but that was that. We'll see how the draft will continue to monitor that. You know what I mean?
I'm almost. I feel